Okay, so welcome everyone to this Source Dragon Rose Flame meditation on the full moon in Aries in tropical. I tried to swap to sidereal astrology last year or begin to move into it, the true sky, so where the stars and the moon actually are positioned. Because a lot of people believe that actually the tropical is just us looping and it's part of a kind of colonized perspective on stuff. And that, yeah, it's not actually accurate because if you look on the apps, the moon is not actually in Aries. So I tried to kind of move with that last year, but it was almost a bit too soon because I still do feel the energies like of whatever's going on in the tropical astrology. I think at some point I will cross over to the more like the astronomy, but for now, I think that there's probably truth in both. Um, but yeah, for me, it definitely feels very fiery, this full moon. It feels full power. It feels like let's turn our lights on, let's amplify the light, and also quite a strong kind of warrior energy. You know, we're working with the rose flame, so working with the rose flame in itself, we always know it's coming from this like very heart-centered Venus energy. But then there's also like everyone needs to be like turning on their flame right now. Um, and it's not like to counteract everything else that's going on, but it's an organic fire, you know, it's an organic flame. It's like a natural flame of our souls. And when there's contrast in the world and there's a lot of other fire going on, it's like a man-made fire, you know, that's been like manipulated. And I was feeling into it and I was like, you know, the kind of the fires of hatred or division or you know, like being on one side versus the other, it's so easy for that's like a wild forest fire that can just take off. It's such an easy flame to catch, whereas actually to stand in your sovereignty, to stand in your rose flame is mastery. You know, that is really a warrior flame. And I think it's really cool that Harvey's here because I think, because I think that you know, as a child, a lot of us have that rose flame naturally. And we all, you know, have that fire and that like drive and desire and capacity. And it's generally burning like pretty clearly of what's of like, I feel like children have a very strong sense of justice. Well, certainly when they don't feel like they've received justice themselves. But you know, there is this kind of seeing things for the first time with their eyes and being like, that's not right. Why aren't we doing something? You know, and there's that fire, there's that flame. And then life happens and we get older and you know, we begin to not believe that changes is possible. Or, you know, we have our experiences which perhaps dull our flame or can pull it in a direction of separation. And so I think that the rose flame at this point is like, sorry, it's getting the mozzies, um, really alive and really needs our tending, needs our purification, and also needs us coming together to witness it in each other. Because there's nothing stronger, you know, when you feel someone who is really burning with this strong fire, but of unity consciousness, of love. And especially maybe when it's in a scenario where it's not that popular to even come to be holding both polarities at once. Um, so yeah, I feel like the rose flame, um, and this feminine essence that we're working with as well, the feminine fire, the feminine way of approaching this stuff is yeah, it's like being activated, but also it takes huge courage to actually walk in that way. And it's also not something that we can necessarily just be in. We might know that that's within us, but we might not be able to publicly share it yet. That is another step to feel ready, to feel so centered in and in your pillar that you can actually then share the voice of that flame comfortably, knowing that you don't really care how anyone else receives you because it's true and it's real. And when I feel like someone shares from that place, it's actually received so beautifully. But I think that when someone does that, they've crossed the threshold within themselves. They've crossed a point um, of basically like reclaiming just our soul, refusing for it to be split. So yeah, I think that the flame of, it's a flame of truth, it's a flame of love, and it's a flame of power. Power probably meaning sovereignty, agency, like our own essence coming through, not swayed by the masses or, someone else's influence. It's that inner flame that we're like our own intelligence. So yes, I think that it feels a good night to be working with the rose flame. And obviously the money today is going to Palestine, and I think it's 3 years now since that conflict's broken out. Is it 3 or 2 years? Two. 2 years.
Tomorrow, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But two years in its current expression. So yeah, feels like as well, I guess, keeping that flame of hope and of belief that there can be radical shifts and changes that are for the people, as opposed to for uh, external top-down influences. So yeah, we will be holding that as well in this journey together. Okay, so well, we shall begin. So buckle up. How's our birthday boy doing? Is he ready? Ready to dance with the dragons? Double thumbs up. Yes. So just beginning to close our eyes if that feels good for you. Just taking your awareness within, just breathing in the light of the full moon, feeling the magic of the moon, of the lunar energies in her fullest expression, moon goddess. And just breathing into our hearts. And just connecting your hands to your heart. And if it feels right for you and true for you, you can just say the following mantra: I consent to be loved. So we're just coming into this new time where we are giving ourselves permission to experience love. I consent to be loved. And then just bringing our hands down to our solar plexus. And if it feels right for you, just repeating, I belong here. Just consenting to the fact that we belong here together on this earth and in our bodies. that it's not something we're trying to fight or get out of. We are exactly where we're meant to be. And just moving our hands down to our sacral, below our belly button. And just saying, if it feels right, we belong here. We belong here. And just breathing into that affirmation that we all belong here. That we all chose to come here at this time. That there is space for everyone at the table of this ceremony of life. So just feeling now a grounding cord of light, imagining any color light that you like, maybe a cobalt bright blue. That's what's coming to me. And just dropping that cord of light down into the earth. Feeling this grounding cord descending down into Mama Gaia, our Earth Mother. Feeling this deep welcoming, this rejoicing of our connection to our Mother. Feeling that cord going all the way down through the crystals, through the caves. Sensing all of the beings who are living inside of the earth. Holding the secrets of life. Holding the magic and the original essence that descended into the earth to protect these sacred scrolls and manuscripts and libraries of wisdom. Until we feel the cord extending down into the primordial waters in the inner earth, into this dream water temple of Tiamat, holding the original dreams of Gaia, and feeling that this temple is filled with light. There has been a real surge of light that has come down to this space, to this realm, thanks to everyone's connection to this memory. And we feel ourselves connecting with a specific scroll that has the words rose flame embossed in gold over this old scroll. And we feel that scroll of paper coming back up, traveling back up into our bodies, and opening at the top in our hearts. And the bottom of the scroll extends down into our sacral. And it's like there is a hidden message in this scroll. And it's like the language, the words are written in a magical, mysterious type. And they're appearing and then disappearing, almost moving with our heartbeat. And we feel the cord of light now extending up from our crown, up through the sky, up to this full moon in Aries. Through the lunar energies up to Venus. We feel the Venusian energies traveling back down the cord of light. We sense these Venus priestesses and priests pouring the light of Venus, the origins of the rose flame, traveling through the moon into our crowns, bathing us in this moonlight. And as that light pours in from above, it really activates the scroll that's opened in our bodies. And the scroll that's open in our bodies is keys and codes and messages for our own unique rose flame. And we will be receiving those messages throughout this journey. It is a unique combination of the fire of Aries and Mars and the lunar soft energies coming together to create a cauldron of possibility. As we feel now a beautiful pink rose in front of us, opening and blooming and illuminated by fire, flaming rose in front of us. Sensing a purple rose behind us, also lit this exquisite dancing flame. It's not like overwhelming, it is a soft flicker of a flame on this rose. Feeling an aquamarine blue rose to our right. Also alight with the rose flame. And feeling a white rose to our left. Opened and lit. And feeling this enormous rose within our hearts, a deep, fiery red rose opening. And the center of this huge red rose is a flame, is the rose flame. And so just breathing in to the clearing that's already happening in our central channel. And we're just going to allow this rose flame within us and the scroll, the coding of the flame, to meet and to dance as that flame just purifies our vessel. We feel the presence of the source dragons entering now in a dance. They're coming in a procession, dancing around us in a kind of trance. It's almost like a belly dance. And they suggest that we all gently move our hips. So just moving our hips, just circling with our hips, just gently to allow the energies to move through. As we soften and deepen, taking some deep breaths. And just feeling the phoenix energy alive within each of us. Feeling the huge alchemical shifts that we've already gone through this year. Feeling the transitions, the birthing of new consciousness that is happening at a very rapid rate. That the acceleration now is really rising. And each of us we'll be going through a big gate of new consciousness opening to us. And so just to imagine now yourself standing in front of an enormous set of gates. I'm kind of at the gates of heaven. It's like white celestial gates, and they kind of have wings, dragon angel wings, each side. And we're all standing at these gates. And Harvey's also crossing this threshold on his 9th birthday into a new year on the planet. That's new consciousness coming through. And so we feel ourselves at this gate, at this threshold. And this gate is benevolent. But there was information or sensation or ways of existing and perceiving that were not available to us before, because our consciousness had become blocked or solidified in a certain way of perceiving ourselves or perceiving the world or perceiving what is possible. And the source dragons are reminding us that what is possible on this planet would actually blow our minds if we were able to receive it all right now. Because we have been living in such a confined space in terms of what we think humans are capable of, without machines, without the need for human created technology to assist us. This is magic. And so we stand at this threshold to enter into our own kingdom or queendom of heaven within. And we feel that rose flame burning inside of us. And we're also carrying a lantern with this rose flame in. And inside the lantern is a single red rose, and it's lit. And it is just burning. It's hovering in midair within this lantern, lighting the way for us. And the dragons remind us that if ever we feel scared or fearful, or like we wish we could have the perfect person to accompany us on the path at all times, that there somehow was this magical being that could support us, to remember that there is. That is the creator. That is the divine. They are always there supporting us. And so when we feel we come across a block within ourselves, or a doubt or a fear, or about what's happening on the earth right now, remember to hold the rose flame lantern, to hold the rose alight, and walk holding that lantern. So as we enter now towards this gate, just notice if there's anything that is stopping you or blocking you from entering into your own kingdom of heaven. Is there anything that you need to leave at the gates in order to cross that threshold? And just allow anything to rise within you. And if there is anything that's come into your awareness, you can leave it at the entrance of the gates as an offering. There are always guardians at the threshold. There are always dragons at the threshold. And the dragons love to eat our fears for breakfast. So anything that's arisen, you can leave that as a sacred offering for the dragon at the threshold. And hop, skip, jump, or fly across through those gates. And land 2 feet, touching down. And just notice what the texture is as you land. It's not air, it is something, there may be air, but then you will land onto something more physical, something more tangible. For me, I'm landing in a lot of rose petals. And beneath that is the diamond. So just letting my feet, my toes feel the petals and the diamond beneath that. And just beginning to walk on whatever surface you are connecting with. And just giving yourself permission to cross into this new octave. And just feeling now the darkness all around us, feeling the presence of the night sky, illuminated only by the moon and the rose lantern that you're carrying. And continuing to walk forward. And when we cross the threshold and we land in a new octave, the path ahead will still be unknown. Where we are going will not be fixed. There are different timelines ahead or running parallel with us. And so the courage that it took to cross will continue to be our companion. And just feeling now, it's like a aspect of the scroll, the part around courage, is beginning to come alive. And courage is one of the most integral aspects of our soul that are needed to build the new earth. the courage to be true to ourselves, to not compare ourselves to anyone else, to trust ourselves above anyone else, and to trust that our contribution is equally as important and sacred and needed as anyone else's. You know, there is like a grand sense of equality in the new earth. Of seeing everyone as equal, no one above or below. As everyone recognizes their own sacredness, their own value. It is actually impossible for one person to be of more value than another. And so just allowing now the rose flame to burn away within us, anywhere that sees us as less or more than our neighbor, than our lover, than our beloved. I'm feeling another aspect of that scroll is coming online. A code of our unique rose flame. It's like being uploaded into us right now. And just notice where that code is going. Mine's going into my throat, into my speech. And then it's continuing to dance. It's turned into the dragons, two dragons dancing around my crown, the back of my neck, around my shoulders. Almost like they're weaving some extraordinary cape in their dance. And so just notice where these dragons are dancing within you as they're weaving something new into the field. And just feeling that as that new consciousness is being woven in between us, it's also being woven into the lands of Palestine and Israel. A new template is being awakened. And just feeling that sacred mirroring that happens as within, so without. That as we unearth these ancient future templates within us, they can exist outside of us as well. And just feeling now an arch of roses coming over each one of us. With rose petals beginning to fall, seeding beauty, imprinting the rich beauty of the rose. I'm feeling now like each of us are kind of being initiated into the rose flame, into the fire, to be able to absorb, to ingest this fire. And it's like a kind of fire eater. And to start with, we're just watching someone eating the fire, eating this stick of fire as part of their dance, as part of their ritual. And that it's not something we're going to do today, but it's something we will build up to all of us being able to be a fire eater, to eat the fire and then to blow it back out. And that the fire is really calling us in this autumn, this winter, to begin to connect with the fire in a deep way, bringing offerings of dried rose petals, listening to receive the wisdom of the rose flame from the actual fire. Beginning to commune and to receive in that way. And when we don't have rose petals, to remember that we can ignite that rose within us and use our breath, the Shekinah, that Holy Spirit, to gently blow on a flame, or when we blow out a candle, it's with the rose breath, with the rose spirit. And that breath can be used to amplify a flame or to blow it out. So we begin to become masters of how we use that, of seeing what fires need to be put out and what fires need to be nurtured. And we imagine ourselves now, all of us and those watching the replay, gathering around a beautiful sacred fire. And we're singing and dancing and moving around this fire, laughing, joyful celebration. And feeding that fire with our joy is the most powerful gift we can offer. Also, our anger, our grief, any emotions, the fire feeds off that. But the difference is when we give our anger, let's say, to the fire, we're asking the fire to transmute it. We're asking the fire to help us transform it so that we don't have to carry that within our body. And we feel ourselves now circled around this fire and just dropping onto our knees in prayer, placing our third eyes onto the Mother Earth, our chests also on the earth, our hearts connected with the heart of the Mother. Deeply listening heart to heart, receiving, listening to her prayer, to her dream. Feeling the deep interconnectedness of everyone at this time. That we are all intrinsically linked. And that we are all coming back to this flame of love. And actively feeding it, choosing it, tending it, and letting that flame be our guide forward. Be our compass. And so just offering now anything into this fire, any gratitude, any prayers, prayers for the lands, for the waters, the deep healing and the deep dreaming. We feel ourselves all standing up now and holding hands, arms raised high, feeling this profound sense of union and unity. And our power to choose these loving timelines, these timelines of respect and courage and devotion. As we cross the rainbow bridge together to this new, abundant, singing earth. Just placing our hands on our hearts, feeling our own soul's song that we have come here to sing, feeling our own inner flame alive, flickering, bright. As we bow to the source dragons, to the rose flame, to the rose lineage, bow to Mother Earth, Father Sky, to the moon and the sun. As we begin to feel those roses in front of us and behind us, to our left and to our right. And just we gently blow out those flames using that breath. And we allow those roses to spiral inwards into the big flaming red rose in our heart. And we let each of those roses be gathered into this central rose, storing the memory. Feeling the scroll traveling up, also being stored within that central flame of our heart. And that is something we can return to in meditation. We can unravel those scrolls and ask for more information to be revealed or made known to us. Feel the cord of light coming back down into our bodies from Venus. And the grounding cord coming up from the water temple, the dream temple of Tiamat. And just bowing to ourselves, honoring our really brave journey each of us is on. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be, so mote it be. And just gently coming back into your body, wiggling fingers and toes. And if anyone wants to share anything, please do so.
Oh, thank you, Tiamat. Yeah, I think different things to sit with after the session before and this, but it almost feels like a bit of a goodbye. Like it's a strange thing because it's like aspects of self that so ready to say goodbye to, like the resistance to receiving, but also a kind of like honoring of that process or some kind of, yeah, something around that.
Mm,
Because it's just they're so powerful, these frequencies, but they're such like ancient aspects of self that have said no. But then it's also something around honoring them as well and saying goodbye to them, um, rather than like demonizing them.
mm.
So that's something that I feel I'm like with a bit, um, today, this evening. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. Yeah, because yeah, exactly. It's not to be judged or feel like that was like a lesser part of ourselves or something.
Mm.
But then there also is this element of and enough.
Yeah, it's like we
It's
just
like
can't.
both. It's both. It's not like we need to look at, it's not like judging where we were at before and being like, I cannot believe I would allow that or not allow that. Obviously, those thoughts can come through, but then it's just like, that's just the times we've been living in, that's
Mm.
just how it's been. And we've all come in with different things, but
Mm.
then also, let's goodbye.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's
And
it.
goodbye. It's like because otherwise you can get actually caught in the nostalgia or in the analysis or in the,
Yes.
there comes a point where that can become exhausted too, and it's like okay, just goodbye.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm kind of feeling that. It's like it's a bit like a child that's been, well, I'm sure Harvey's way more evolved, but it's a bit like a child, a less evolved child that's having a major tantrum. Um, and it's just like, okay, now, like, just we're
Yeah,
listening to them and then like, and now we're moving on. Like,
yeah, exactly. Because we've become so comfortable with that version of ourselves. That's what we've known. So
yeah,
that's like this it's almost like a friend that you've got to say good, like let go of.
yeah.
And then I think that it can feel uncomfortable for a bit, like, well, what's next? Because it's almost like a hole there. But
Mm.
then it's like, well, that's where the courage comes in to be like, but I'm willing to find out.
Mm, yeah, exactly. And I remember that coming through in our session about the getting caught on like a thorn
Mm,
or like but not getting too,
mm. Just
like
softly being like,
intrusive.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Rachel.
Thank you.
Harvey, any words of wisdom?
It's 4 minutes past 9.
Oh, timekeeper,
We were
keeper of the threshold.
we were so impressed we finished at 9 o'clock on the dot. So
That's good. And you didn't even give me a signal. I just knew. Maybe you gave me a secret signal. You telepathically told me.
ooh,
Ooh.
that's really, really powerful. Thank you. Really felt
Pleasure.
like the right side of my wounds, just so much was shifting.
Mm.
And when he talks about leaving something at the gates, yeah, I felt that. I felt that resistance. But then so much freedom just to fly through.
We did all fly. Like, I didn't say it, but we all turned into dragons and just started flying through the gates.
Even because he was fluttering around the
Oh,
room.
yeah, full dragon mode.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
my
you.
pleasure. And thank you so much for coming, Harvey, on your birthday. It was an honor to have you.
Thank you.
Happy Earth Day. Happy
Happy
Earth Day,
Earth
birthday.
Day.
Thank you.
Full moon, full power. Whoop. All right. Mwah. Lots
Bye.
of love, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.